Picture this. It's the 1950s, and with Britain's blessing, Canada has recently become its own self-governing country. With a sprawling landscape stretching over 7,500 kilometers from east to west, it contains numerous hugely diverse geographic regions and a booming post-World War II economy. Now imagine an epic odyssey across the majestic expanse of the Great White North, where maple-scented winds whisper tales of untamed wilderness, sprawling landscapes, and Canadian bacon. The problem? How do you possibly cross such a gigantic piece of land? Enter the $1 billion, 7,821-kilometer-long, 20-year construction project that would change the pathway of Canada, the TransCanada Highway. Canada is the second largest country on Earth, with an area of almost 10 million square kilometers. It borders 3 seas: the Pacific Ocean on its western shores, the Atlantic Ocean on its eastern shores, and the Arctic Ocean on its northern shores. It has the world's longest coastline, extending nearly 243,000 kilometers. In fact, there are more lakes in Canada than in all other nations on the globe combined. You get it, it's huge. World War II and its aftermath had put Canada into a growth overdrive. Military airfield had been built across Canada to support war efforts. The Alaska Highway had just recently been completed in mere months to connect an isolated Alaska with Canada to help defend America's northern outpost against a threat of Japanese invasion. The American government had also begun its massive interstate highway construction program with 4-lane twinned roads in all states. The TransCanada Highway, recognizable by its distinctive white-on-green maple leaf route markers, spans each of Canada's 10 provinces from Victoria, British Columbia to St. John's, Newfoundland, and was born out of the need for a seamless route connecting Canada's Pacific and Atlantic coasts. Why? Well, beyond just making road trips easier, this ambitious project aimed to boost commerce within Canada and strengthen national unity of the newly independent country. The desire for a highway that went across the country actually went back to the very dawn of the automotive era. In 1912, when the first Trans-Canada car trip occurred, it became obvious that there was a real possibility to have a highway across the entire country. In fact, by 1942, it was possible to drive across Canada, but on mostly gravel roads. The cross-country paved highway project would officially begin on December 10, 1949, when the Trans-Canada Highway Act was enacted. The legislation set a construction timeline of 7 years, specified road standards, and set out a funding structure for the massive project. The federal government originally offered $150 million to a maximum of 50% of the shared costs to each province. Because the national park system was federally maintained, the Government of Canada would take on 100% of the cost of building roads through the parks. Each section of the highway was covered under a separate agreement, with British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and Prince Edward Island signing up first on April 25, 1950, and Quebec, the last, agreeing on October 27, 1960. The construction plan was ambitious and would begin in 1950. At 7,823 kilometers long, the highway is so long that it would run from the shore of the Nile Delta in Egypt all the way down to the bottom of Cape Town, South Africa, with a few hundred kilometers to spare. The construction process began in 1950, and while originally planned to be completed by 1957, would span over 2 decades, with the final stretch not completed until 1971. The diverse Canadian landscape posed numerous challenges. From rugged mountain terrains to vast prairies, engineers and workers faced a variety of obstacles. One of the most difficult sections was a 265-kilometer section along the shores of Lake Superior. Filled with muskegs up to 50 feet deep, thousands of tons of blast rock had to be transported to provide a solid base. Other areas, such as Rogers Pass in BC and Alberta, vulnerable to massive snowfall and avalanches, required blasting through mountains, specially constructed snowsheds, controlled avalanche diversions, and wildlife overpasses. One interesting tidbit about the TransCanada Highway is the varying costs associated with its construction. For instance, the cost to build the highway from Victoria to Banff, a relatively short distance of 936 kilometers, was comparable to the cost of construction from Banff to the east coast of Canada, a whopping distance of 6,262 kilometers. This was largely due to the challenges presented by the mountainous terrain in Alberta and British Columbia. Since its completion, the TransCanada Highway has played a crucial role in shaping Canada's identity and fostering economic development. The highway didn't just change the map, it transformed the nation. In fact, certain regions along the path of the highway have experienced massive industrial and tourism development due to improved transportation infrastructure. For example, cities like Winnipeg and Calgary, strategically located along the highway, have become major industrial hubs, attracting businesses and industries looking for well-connected, supply chain-friendly locations. The TransCanada Highway boasts a variety of scenic routes that showcase Canada's natural beauty. From the picturesque landscapes of the Maritimes to the breathtaking vistas of the Rockies, this highway isn't just a means of transportation, it's a journey through the heart of Canada. Enjoy some footage of this amazing feat of construction that helped a newly formed Canada unite.